And what I would say at the beginning of any business venture is be prospecting focused and then enhance it with marketing. But the mistake that most people make is they spend money they don't have up front for marketing and they go out of business. All right, now that we've established our mission, vision, values, we've got our goals in place, we got the ideal day, week, month, we got the rhythm to our meeting calendar, like all of that's in place. We now have our scorecard, we're tracking. All of that is in place. Now it's really time to get into marketing and prospecting mode so now we can grow our business, and this is super exciting. The first place we're gonna start with is an understanding of the difference between marketing and prospecting. See, prospecting is typically done through our own efforts, right? It's done through just the resources, our hands, our time. It's going out and knocking on doors, it's picking up the phone, it's texting, it's all of that. Marketing is more passive, right? It's something I can put out a hook in the water, and as a fish swims by, they get it and I can pull them in. Prospecting is our own efforts of going out, maybe putting a net, trying to pull them in ourselves. But it's really important to understand the difference, because sometimes as business owners, we confuse it. We're like, yeah, I was really busy, but I wasn't productive. And what I would say at the beginning of any business venture is be prospecting focused and then enhance it with marketing. But the mistake that most people make is they spend money they don't have up front for marketing and they go out of business and they don't ever prospect. It's important to understand that. Now, when we're prospecting and when we're marketing, we need to know who to go after, and we call this the ideal client. And so for today, what we want to focus on is really getting clear on who our ideal client is. I always tell the story of when I was presenting this one time to about 100 people, and I asked the room, I said, all right, who's your ideal client? This is your chance to tell the world, tell 100 people in this room who your ideal client is. Maybe they'll know who they are and can connect you. And this lady just, front row, right in the middle, just boldly raises her hand, me, call on me. So she stands up and I said, what do you do? She says, I sell cosmetics. I said, great. Who's your ideal client? And just really clever and everything. She's like, my ideal client is anyone with skin. Like, that's not real. That's everybody. That's not like literally everybody. And when it's everybody, it's nobody. I can't think of anyone for you, right? So you're telling me right now that 99 people in this room should buy and are your ideal client? So I started asking her some questions, right? I said, tell me about your product line. So she starts to tell me about that. And then I asked her, I said, look at the clients you've sold over the last 6 months. Who have you sold mostly to, men or women? She's like, oh, like 90% women. There are a few products for men. I said, okay, so 90%, ideally it's women. Well, there you go. We've already established one part of your ideal client. Let me ask you, is there a certain kind of product or skin type and she's like, well, we can help people with acne. We can help people. Great. Again, look at your last clients. And she's like, yeah, it was this and this. Okay, great. These two services, these two things you can solve. Do they need to have money? Well, yeah, they probably should have money so they can buy my product. Okay, so is there a certain income demographic? I think you get the point. I think you can see where I'm going with this. The more ideal you can get, the better I can help you. We call this the Reticular Activator system, right? It's the thing that I'm plugged into, I can help you with. Think about it this way. You ever wanted to buy a car and you buy the car and you drive it off the lot and you think, holy smokes, yesterday no one had this car, but today everyone has this car? It's because you see it now, because you're driving it, it's in your world. Your brain now picks up on things. I'll do an activity sometimes for people. I'll say, look around the room and find everything that's blue. And they'll take 30 seconds and they look at all the stuff that's blue. And then I'll say, now, is there anything in the room that's orange? And they can't think of anything that's orange, yet there's 5 things right in front of them that are orange. And it takes a second because all they were focused on was what was blue. Your client, your customer, and you are just like that. So getting clear on who your ideal client is not only helps you focus your prospecting and marketing efforts, but it helps those around you know who you're looking for. So if you approach me and say, I'm looking for this type of person that works at this area in this city that makes this kind of money, oh yeah, I can think, my mind starts to shuffle that down and go, boom, this is who you're looking for. Let me see if I can refer that person to you. Imagine how targeted, which is the second business discipline in our 5+1 series, this targeting is this is how I know who I'm going after. Now, here's the advanced part of that. And we'll talk about this more in a future video, but when you are really crystal clear on your ideal client, what you're going to do to fast track your success is look for the ideal connector. The ideal connector has already done all the work to have the attention of your ideal client, right? So again, think about this. If my ideal client, let's say, is real estate agents, I'm pretty sure I can go out and research real estate coaches who have an audience of thousands of real estate agents who already have the attention of those real estate agents. So why would I try to do all the hard work they've already done? Instead, I can try to build relationships with those ideal connectors. So now you can see, which I'll talk about in a future video, but now you can see why it's so important to be really clear on who your ideal client is, because now you know who to go after for your ideal connector. So for the homework for today, it's time to fill out who your ideal client is, right? Get really specific, right? Here's some questions to ask. Who is it that I serve? Who needs my products or services? Why do they need it, right? Start to fill in these answers. What issues are they dealing with? Where do they congregate? Where do they hang out? How can I reach them most effectively? As you start to answer these questions, right? What geography are they in? Is there an age demographic? As you start to narrow that in, you're gonna get really crystal clear on your ideal client. So that's the homework for this video, and we'll see you on the next one.